2025 has been a pretty incredible year for 4K releases, but we still got a lot of exciting titles headed our way, so let's talk about the ones I'm most excited for. What is going on, everybody? Tom Chattelbash here, and if you love 4K film collecting and you love just physical media in general, then rest assured you're in the right place. And without further ado, let's talk about my most anticipated 4K releases for the rest of 2025. Now, I will say 2025, more so than most years that I can remember, has been a gigantically successful year, at least for me, in terms of titles that I've wanted to see on 4K finally come to the format. I mean, so many films have been checked off my list that I've been so happy to see come to the format, and thankfully a lot of them have been really worthwhile transfers. But let's talk about the ones I'm really excited to get my hands on for the rest of the year. So let's jump into the ones. These are no particular order. These are just some titles I'm really excited to see on 4K disc. Now, first up, we have a movie I think is severely underrated, and that is The Place Beyond the Pines, which is this drama that starred Bradley Cooper, Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes. It's an incredibly powerful film about fathers and their legacies. I think it's so well acted, so beautifully made, such an underrated movie. I don't think it gets its flowers. And this one's coming to us from Shout Factory, which they've done a lot of great 4K work, and also they've chosen a lot of titles that are near and dear to my heart, so this just made me really happy to see. But I'm really excited to see how this one looks in 4K, because it's a beautifully cinematic movie, so I think this one's going to look great on 4K disc. Next up, as a horror fan and a big fan of this franchise, the fact that we're getting Saw 2, 3, and 4 on 4K disc at the end of October is really, really exciting. I cannot wait to see how these look, because I honestly think that the way they handled the first film was really well done, especially the Atmos track on the first film is so good and so immersive, and I think they made that film look as good as it possibly could given how it was made and for its super low budget. So I'm really eager to see how 2, 3, and 4 look on the format, because they definitely had more production value to them. But yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of the series come to 4K. I'm sure the following year we'll probably get, 5, 6, and 7 come. I wouldn't be surprised. But, we got steelbooks coming this year. I'm really excited about those. Can't wait to see those. Now, next up is a film that I'm so happy is finally coming to 4K, and that is Edward Scissorhands. I don't know what took this one so long. There's actually been this great 4K master or 4K SDR master that's been on digital for years now and looks great, honestly. I mean, you put some Dolby Vision HDR on that, it's just going to pop even more. And actually, my copy of it on Apple TV was recently upgraded to Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, so I got to take a look at it just to see how it looks. And honestly, those colors really do pop. The clarity's there. I think we're in for a treat when this hits 4K at the end of October, and I can't wait to see how the Atmos mix is going to sound on disc, but this one is going to be a great addition to the format, and the steelbook looks beautiful too, so I can't wait to see that. Then we have another film that's been on my 4K wish list for so long, so happy this one's finally coming to the format, and that is The Breakfast Club. I'm shocked this movie has taken this long to come to 4K, but I'm just happy that it is. This is coming to us from Criterion. I have a hit or miss history with Criterion. I like some of their transfers a lot, and some of them I was a little bit let down by, but I'm excited to see how this movie is going to look in Dolby Vision in the 4K format. I think it's going to look really nice. This is a movie that was obviously shot on film, and I'm very curious to see, if there's an uptick in color and clarity. I want to see that pop, and I just want to see this movie look the best it ever has, and it's one of my favorite movies, so I cannot wait to see that one. Next up is another title that has been on my 4K wish list for so long, and that is The Mask. I cannot believe we're finally getting The Mask in 4K, and this is coming to us from Arrow. This edition looks awesome. I mean, we're getting Dolby Vision upgrade, we're getting Dolby Atmos, I believe. The Mask is a movie in Jim Carrey's filmography that I always thought would look great in 4K, because I think it's a really well-made movie, and I love the cinematography of that film, and I always felt like it could really pop with some Dolby Vision, some HDR, so I'm really excited to see how it looks, and I'm glad we're finally getting more comedies coming to 4K, especially more Jim Carrey movies. I'm happy we finally got Ace Ventura. I really hope we get Dumb and Dumber at some point. I'm sure we will. But yeah, The Mask, cannot wait. This is like a day one, need to watch it as soon as I get it. So excited. And speaking of Jim Carrey, we have a new edition of The Grinch coming to 4K in November. I think on the same day The Mask comes out for its 25th anniversary. And this isn't just like a repackaging for its anniversary. We're actually getting a new Dolby Vision edition of the film. And instead of a DTS-X track, we actually get a Dolby Atmos track this time around. Now, I'm curious, because I think the Grinch 4K looks terrible. I mean, at least the edition that I have, I always thought it was just an ugly looking 4K. I really felt like it was a huge missed opportunity, because that movie could really pop if you gave it the right transfer. But I do think the DTS mix on it was always phenomenal. So I didn't really need an upgrade there, but I'm curious to see how the Atmos sounds in comparison to the DTS-X. But I'm really interested to see how the Dolby Vision here improves, or maybe doesn't do anything to make the transfer better or to make this movie look better. So we'll see. It's one I'm more curious about, but I'm still excited because maybe they'll finally do one of my favorite Jim Carrey films justice. Then we have one of my favorite romance films, and I unabashedly love this movie, Pride and Prejudice. I love this Jane Austen adaptation. It's one of my favorites. It's an endlessly rewatchable movie, and the fact this is finally coming to 4K makes me super happy. I'm very curious. Now, this is coming to us, I believe, in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, so we're getting a big upgrade here. But I just hope it looks good. You know, this is a film that, you know, Universal's a little bit hit or miss with their transfers as well. Some of them actually look really solid. They've come out with a couple of solid ones lately with, you know, Meet the Parents and 40-Year-Old Virgin. But I'm kind of hoping they can continue their winning streak because sometimes their transfers can be a little bit underwhelming. But I'm excited for this one. Very, very curious to see how it looks in 4K. You know, like Fandango at home claims they have a 4K copy of the movie, and it honestly looks worse than the HD copy that I have. So do not buy that. Next up in December, we're getting 2 Spielberg movies I've been wanting in 4K for years, and we're finally getting them, and they're coming out on the same day, no less, and that is Catch Me If You Can and Minority Report. These are 2 of my favorite Spielberg films, full stop. I love both of them for different reasons, and I think both of them could look terrific in 4K. In fact, Catch Me If You Can has already been upgraded to 4K with Dolby Vision on digital, and I watched that copy, and it looks really nice, and I can only imagine that it's going to look even better on disc. It looks wonderfully filmic, and the clarity's there, the colors pop more, it looks really solid, but I think it's going to look and, of course, sound better on disc, so I'm really excited for that one. But Minority Report, I'm a little bit bummed we're not getting an Atmos mix here, but I am excited that it's getting Dolby Vision, that it's finally going to be in 4K. Love that movie, and I think it could really pop on disc. So super excited for both of those. Then we had a surprise announcement the other day, which is that The Grey, the Joe Carnahan film that stars Liam Neeson, that's coming to 4K in December. And I'm kind of excited for this one because I think it's a super underrated movie, especially underrated in Neeson's filmography. I think this one could actually look really good in 4K, and I'm curious to see if it's going to get an Atmos mix, but I know it's already coming to us in Dolby Vision. Not sure if it's getting an upgrade in the audio department, but I'm excited for this one. I do really love the way the steelbook looks, the cover art. I'm liking that. Definitely interested in picking this one up. And speaking of some movies from my childhood, the fact we're getting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies from the 90s in 4K from Arrow, all 3 of them, could not be happier about this. I really, really hope these look good. I think they have the potential to, but regardless, I'm so excited that these are finally coming to 4K. I can't wait to check these out, and I can't wait to review them for you. And last but not least, we have Dogma, which is finally coming to 4K. I know Kevin Smith has been trying to get the rights back for years, but he's had to deal with Harvey Weinstein, who's been a just douchebag about the rights to this movie. But thankfully, the rights are back where they belong, and we're finally getting a 4K from Lionsgate in December. And I've heard that this transfer is going to look amazing, and I cannot wait. It's one of Kevin Smith's best films, and I cannot wait to see how this looks in 4K as well. So yeah, lots to look forward to, at least for me, in the fall. But what are your picks? What are the ones that you're most excited for that are coming out this fall? And what's like the number 1 movie on your 4K wish list right now that still hasn't been checked off? The first one that comes to mind for me, it might be a little bit obscure pick, or maybe a pick that most people wouldn't expect, but I would love to see Reign of Fire come to 4K. And I think it's possible now that Disney has this deal with Sony to distribute. I would love to see this movie come to 4K. I've been dying for it. I think it would really pop with HDR, and I really wanted to get an Atmos mix. It would be amazing. But that's mine. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, everybody, I'm Tom Chattelbash, YouTube's most reliable movie critic.